Hi, here in this video, let's discuss the novel Esperanza Rising, an inspiring story of struggle, hardship, and hope. Esperanza Rising by Mexican-American author Pam Muñoz Ryan. This book is rich with ideas for great discussions on empathy, economics, labor unions, race relations, prejudice, rights, family, choices, hope, attitude, work, pride, and kindness. Esperanza, the daughter of a wealthy landowner, and her mother must leave their home in Mexico and start over as farm owners in California after the death of her father. Set in the early 1930s, this book gives you a feel for the struggles of the Great Depression as well as California history. Let's look at the complete summary.
Esperanza Rising. Esperanza Rising is a young adult historical fiction novel. Written by Mexican-American author Pam Muñoz Ryan. And released by Scholastic Publishing on March 27, 2000. The novel focuses on Esperanza, the only daughter of wealthy Mexican parents, and follows the events that occur after her father's murder. Esperanza, her mother, and their former household servants flee to California with no money during the Great Depression, where they find agricultural work that pays very little. The book received generally positive reviews from critics, who praised Muñoz Ryan's writing and concluded that it was suitable for classroom discussion. Background information. American laborers from Oklahoma were often hostile toward the Mexican workers because they felt they were taking away their jobs. Mexican migrant laborers would work for much lower pay, so there was much tension between the migrant workers on the fields. Some felt that their conditions were unlivable, so they began to protest for better working conditions. Still, others refused to join the protest in fear that they would be fired. In the 1920s and 1930s, about the time the story takes place, California remained about 86% white. Most of these people were those who owned the land, while the 36,800 workers, many of whom were Mexicans, did not. Plot synopsis. Esperanza Ortega, the daughter of wealthy landowners, lives in Aguascalientes, Mexico. In 1930 on her family's ranch with her mother, father, and grandmother. The day before Esperanza's 13th birthday, her father is murdered while working on the ranch. At her birthday party, she receives a doll from Papa. It was her last gift from him. Her uncle Luis reveals that he now owns their land. He offers to continue to care for them and their ranch if Esperanza's mother, Ramona, will marry him. When she refuses, he burns down the ranch. Esperanza's grandmother, Abuelita, is injured during the fire and is sent to a convent where she can recover. Esperanza and the rest of her family decide to travel to the United States. When Esperanza's family arrives in the United States, which is currently in the grip of the Great Depression, they settle in a farm camp in Arvin, California. Esperanza begins to adjust to her new life but still fantasizes about Abuelita rescuing her from poverty. Ramona contracts valley fever, and the doctors are unsure if she will survive. Esperanza, desperate for money to support herself and pay her mother's medical bills, takes work on the farm camp despite being underage. She stockpiles money orders in the hopes of one day sending them to Abuelita and allowing her to travel to the United States. Tensions rise in the camp as migrants from Oklahoma flee the Dust Bowl and look for work in California. Some workers go on strike to try to improve working conditions. Following a massive demonstration by the strikers, the farm owners call immigration officials to round up and deport the demonstrators. However, many of the people deported were natural-born American citizens who had never been to Mexico. Esperanza has a breakdown and then an argument with her friend Miguel, because of this event. The next day, they find that Miguel has left to seek work in Northern California. When Ramona recovers from her illness, Esperanza proudly goes to show her mother the money orders she saved, only to discover that they are missing. Miguel took them when he left. However, Miguel used them to secretly travel to Mexico and retrieve Abuelita. The book ends on the day of Esperanza's 14th birthday and Esperanza has finally learned to be grateful for what she has, her family reunited. Friends who love her, and most of all, hope. Esperanza was not happy that her father was murdered. But Esperanza had to deal with it no matter what was going to happen. Esperanza was not grateful for anything after her papa died. Because he spoiled her too much. So Esperanza didn't really know how to take care of herself. Because of what her papa did. Her mother tried to teach her how to be grateful for what she has. But it didn't work until Esperanza became grateful for what she had. End of the summary. Thank you. Thank you.